We're back at it again here with another video with the Invest for Tomorrow. To all first time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel. To all the subscribers, welcome back. All I ask for in return is for you to smash that like button to let me know you watch this video. Helps out the YouTube channel and lets me know you appreciate the time and effort I put into making these videos. Now, the S&P 500 index is pulling back pretty big in the last several days, but in this video, we're going to talk about the top 2 stocks that are setting up to explode based off of the potential in the charts, the technicals, and everything about it when it comes to short interest and the short shares and percentages that have been going on for the last several days. So we're going to look at those 2 charts, but before we do, I want to share with you guys the home runs of the day that I mentioned this morning over at the Discord. We managed to find 2 home runs that went 20% plus at their highest point of possibility, and one of them was 100% plus. So stay tuned for that. We're going to jump into these 2 charts and why these stocks are setting up to explode and the key levels I will watch moving forward. The 2 home runs of the day were spectacular, guys. Even after the S&P 500 index pulling back and looking pretty red in the overall markets, we managed to find 2 opportunities that turned out to be home runs. And if this is something that interests you, I would like to invite you to join us. The link is down below in the description to the Discord, and by joining, you'll become part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together. So here we are with PMCB. That's one of the stocks we were watching this morning. GLG was our worst performer, giving about a 3 to 5%, 5 to 10% jump. And then we were watching GRVI. So let's go ahead and see these charts and how these turned out to be home runs. So PMCB turned out to be one of our first home runs, and we caught this one pretty early on in the pre-market when it was consolidating. It started to run in a matter of 30 minutes. It was up 50% plus, and within an hour, it was up to a highest point of 70% plus, and the highest point of the day was 100% plus, guys. This was phenomenal for a Wednesday. And our other home run of the day was GRVI. We caught this one in the pre-market after pulling back, sitting sideways, had a slight pullback right back to those lows of the pre-market in the opening bell, and took off to a highest point of 30% plus in a matter of minutes. It was less than 15 minutes that this all happened, and the rest of the day it gave small jumps of 5 to 10%, 3 to 5%, but this was phenomenal. If this is something that interests you, you're more than welcome to join us. The link is down below in the description, and we look forward to having you join us. Let's jump into these charts. So the first stock on this list is Blackberry Limited. Now, it had a nice jump today, and we're going to look here at the amount of short share percentage of the day, how it's been in the last several days, and what it could mean if it continues to get higher and if this stock continues to push up higher as we saw. So I do have a few key levels I'm going to be watching here with Blackberry Limited, but the first thing to realize is this consolidation within this channel, guys. It has been going slightly in a downward trend, and it just bounced up, and this is where I'm going to be watching for some strength to see if this can continue pushing up higher and continue to push up in the bullish direction, right? Because this is the lowest that we've seen it in the last several days. The 52-week low is way beyond where we're seeing it here, but the lowest in this bearish run, right? And this is usually a sympathy play to the AMC squeeze, so that is something to watch if that correlation continues. And a lot of investors say that it does continue, right? They say that it's possible, and that's why they continue to watch this one. But right now, the most important thing is the amount of shares that were actually short of percentage in the last several days compared to what can continue to come and what it could mean if it continues to dissipate or if it gets larger. So the first thing is the lowest point that was reached in this whole entire bearish run, and that is down here at about 949, guys. So 950, just to round it up, is a key level to be watching as this stock actually pulls back, right? So currently it jumped up from 975 to 1032, and it actually had a lot of strength on the day. That is something to be aware of. Now, if this breaks through this support level here of 1005, I would watch carefully how it reacts between 1005 and 988 to just see if there's some strength. And if it's going south, I would really watch carefully here at 975 before actually making any decisions, because it can continue in this consolidation or retest these lows and go further down. But once it actually does that reversal that it's looking to continue to have with momentum, it's going to be pretty explosive. Now, BB stocks short volume ratio has been in the back and forth in the last several days, but the highest was yesterday at 45%, came back down to 30%, and what I'm going to be watching carefully is if this continues to get lower, that can actually help push up the stock higher, because that means that there's more bulls than bears. And if it gets higher, it can actually mean that the stock is going to have more bears, and the more shorts in volume can actually pull this down, presenting itself as an opportunity to catch the dip. But it is something to monitor and watch carefully. It's not going to happen overnight, but it is one of those that's setting up to explode, especially after seeing how much strength it had from yesterday to today. Now, the next stock on this list is mmat, Metamaterials Inc. Now, this stock has been in a very bearish story and trajectory and had a split. It's been sitting sideways within this area, and it tested a new low in this whole entire consolidation and downward trend, and that is right here at 281, guys. Super important to be aware of this. Now, this could break lower, but it is one of those that once it reverses and it picks up volume and it picks up steam, it's going to explode, guys. The opportunity is there, but this is speculative, okay? This is a tremendously speculative stock, very high risk. It has been high risk before the split, before this whole entire downward trend, before the merger, but this is a stock to still be aware of because of the fact that it's so low at these levels, and it just jumped up off of it, and if it retested, could it double bottom and bounce up to have a spike with a bullish trend, or could it be the start of a staircase effect where you can actually see this stock continue to break newer highs, new resistance levels, and continue to push up higher? Super important to keep that in mind. Now, let's go ahead and see the percentage of short shares in the last several days. So for mmat, it has been pretty high, guys, for the last several days and almost this whole entire month. And just the last few days, it's been all the way up in the 60s, 56, 53, 51, 55. So it dipped a little bit yesterday. It went higher today. And this is going to need to actually get lower, and it could actually correlate, right, to the stock picking up in volume and more bulls pushing this up higher. So there's some key levels here I will be watching. First off, our support, the lowest point that we've seen in this chart in the bearish trend, 281. If that gets broken through, this is going into further weakness. Now, to kind of narrow this down and see where the momentum is really going, the first support level is 298. To watch very carefully, it's currently at 301. But if this stock breaks through 311 or the highest point of the day, 315, it's going to be important for it to start a support level there and bounce off of it to see if this can continue that momentum and force shorts to turn into bulls or just a bullish rally, right, of momentum with volume. And today's volume was just 10 million. The average in the last 10 days is 13 million. So for this stock to actually have a lot of inflow and pick up on volume, it needs to be higher than the average volume. And as long as that volume is bullish and coming in instead of the outflow, it could potentially push this up higher. So this is a speculative play. Watch this carefully and with caution, but definitely one to be aware of before it explodes. As always, guys, if you learned something new, don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell so you don't miss a single video that I post. Share this with a friend so they can receive the insight as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.